Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take one more look at Solana here today, see what's going on. We're still respecting our ascending trend line. We're kind of rejecting out a little bit here at the 200-day simple moving average. So this is just kind of something to be mindful of. 165 is that tentative resistance range for us, having difficulty breaking that. Keep in mind, Bitcoin's also having difficulty breaking through its 110.4K range. So there's that, which is simply kind of a reflection on Solana in a lot of ways too. So good news is we're seeing some nice higher highs and higher lows, and continuation higher potential is definitely there. So let's take a quick look at the back end and get you on your way here for the day. So thank you so much again, first of all, for being an awesome part of my life. Just want to say that you're amazing. Deeply appreciate you always liking the videos and maybe even commenting below. Let me know, what is your position on Solana? Are you long or are you short right now? I don't recommend shorting because of how the market looks right now, but there's obviously going to be a turning point at some point where we might see the price action pull back. At this point though, 180 is that local area of, that macro area of liquidation here. That's the heaviest concentration. So we're going to see some resistance when we get to the 170, 180 range. That's just kind of a larger resistance range. And I'll show you on the charts what I mean by that. But from a liquidation standpoint, liquidation delta is super high. This basically implies that there's no reason to short this coin. You don't want to try to bet against it. It's kind of just, it's got a lot of power, if you will. A lot of coins are looking like that right now, so it's a good sign. And once more here's that resistance I'm talking about, 175, 180, 185. Those are three heavy concentrations of open interest, implying if we get to that area, we're going to see some slowing down, pending the volume doesn't dissipate. Okay, so at this point though, volume remains high, we'll probably continue to blast through that. A lot of it requires Bitcoin to continue to maintain its range of 109 to 110. There's just kind of that whole thing there. So anyways, all that being said, daily time frame looks pretty good. Once more, this resistance range between 170 to 180 has a lot of compounding factors. 170 is that point of control. 180, 185 are those areas of open interest. Roughly the same depending on the time frame you're looking at. And when we look at this here, we're above both the 20 and the 50-day SMA, hanging out at 160. So the price does pull back to 160. That seems like a very logical consideration for a long. Okay. Now don't just take a long on the blind, but that's generally the concept there. That would be a gift at this point, is to consider a long at 160. And the reason why it's beneficial to wait for that is just based on the simple fact that it's common to retest previous highs as new lows, and 160 was that local resistance for us. We can see MACDs converging, stochastic swinging up. Everything is darn near awesome on the daily time frame. There's nothing here that I see that's bad. 4-hour time frame as well. 200-day SMA is really the only resistance. Everything else is looking pretty strong. Yes, we have a slight stochastic swing to the downside, and we should expect the price to retrace a little bit, low 160s. But if that doesn't happen, I think further upside makes tremendous amount of sense. Based on the hourly time frame, we're still in the green here for every consideration for a long. So me personally, I don't really like taking a long at this point. I'd much rather wait for the price to dissipate and then buy the next dip, but that may not happen. So that's just a simple way to understand it. I'm a patient trader. I try to look for, opportunities that typically don't happen. And just based on the fact that in these continuation type of situations we're seeing right now, it's less likely for us to see a retracement unless Bitcoin really pulls back. Okay. So all in all, you're much better off trying to find a long versus a short now that we've broken through our local resistance of 160. Just note that it's common to retest 160 or more important, the local high as a new low before the next leg out. That's kind of what we're looking for. So in a perfect world, long at 160 to the 170 to 180 range. That's roughly the estimate there. At this point, I hope that made sense and I described it correctly. I'm going to post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. That is available here. It looks a little something like this. And just make sure that you check that out. Obviously, enable alerts too, so you can stay in the know. And then join us over at Bitunix too. These guys are phenomenal. No KYC or VPN required. Check them out. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.